What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update for you guys, and we will be covering Hugo Lloris first and foremost. Sim brought you the news yesterday that Inter Milan are circling around Hugo Lloris, but today the press is saying, Duncan Castles is saying that Paris Saint-Germain are interested in bringing Hugo Lloris back to French football, but he does say Tottenham are unwilling to let him go on a free transfer. I mean, what's the sense in him going to PSG just to play back up to Donnarumma?
Yeah, I mean, well, unless they feel like he's really past it. Obviously, they had Keylor Navas and Donnarumma together, didn't they? But you would think if Lloris is going to go, if he had a choice to go to Inter Milan or PSG, he would probably go Inter if he's going to play while if Onana's leaving. So I think that makes more sense to me. But PSG obviously going back home to France. Maybe he feels like it's time to wind down, and maybe there is some appeal there. In terms of letting go on a transfer fee, PSG should be able to afford him. I would hope. So I can't.
They should be able to find some money on the back of the couch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they'll have enough money to if they really want him. But seems like there is a few offers he has to weigh up, but interesting to see what he goes for.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought he would have gone to maybe back to France, but to Lyon, to Nice, someone where he, started his career. Because we did hear those links, didn't we, the back end of last season of him going back to Nice, but those have kind of vanished. But in terms of all the offers that he has on the table, what he has, or what the press have told us anyway, the Inter Milan one does seem like the best for him at this stage of his career, doesn't it?
Would be amazing for him to still be number one for a top team like Inter Milan at his age, considering he was declining quite heavily last season. So I would be surprised, to be honest, if Inter Milan choose him as their new number one keeper, unless they're signing him to play backup to a different keeper they're signing. Because surely, look, they're a team who got to Champions League final last season. Onana's biggest strength was his playing out the back. So, why would they go for someone in decline who's not very good with the ball at his feet? I don't know.
But Inter Milan like to do these funky decisions sometimes because, sometimes, and we always hear how cash-strapped they are, don't we? And, they got rid of Lukaku for big money, brought in Edin Dzeko, and I think there's been some other similarities in other positions as well throughout the years with Inter Milan. So it kind of would follow a theme with Inter Milan, but I would strongly advise against it if they want a player that is good with their feet, to be honest.
Definitely.
Let's talk about Harry Kane now. Rob Draper says that Bayern Munich are due to make an improved near £70 million bid for Harry Kane, but they want the transfer settled quickly. However, even the new offer seems unlikely to meet expectations, leaving the striker in limbo as he returns to training before Spurs set off on their pre-season tour to Australia on Friday. Spurs' stance remains that they do not want to sell the player and have no expectation that he will leave. With 1 year on his deal, they would prefer to extend his deal, but it's clearly will take a huge bid, likely beyond what Bayern will offer to persuade them to sell this summer. I mean, they know that a bid of close to £70 million is not going to be accepted. So what is even the point? They're trying to Levy here.
They're just trying to pass under pressure, trying to show willingness to Kane that they're trying to make it happen. But they know it's a derisory bid under the circumstances. They know that we want close to 100 million. 70 million is nowhere near what Tottenham are going to be accepting. So I don't see. That obviously that's going to be rejected out of hand, but whether they again come back with an improved bid remains to be seen. But I don't see the point. They know it's going to be rejected. They're just I'm guessing they're trying to put a bid in to put us under pressure, maybe get Kane to start, kicking up a fuss a bit with a bid on the table. But that's never going to be accepted. Levy's never accepting 70 million.
Yeah. Would the press like to lead us to believe, especially Christian Falk? I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Tuchel is housewarming for Harry Kane until he comes back from holiday.
Exactly, that's what they want us to believe, isn't it? But we'll see.
It's ridiculous, this whole thing regarding Harry Kane and Thomas Tuchel and all these bullshit rumors. Because he goes on and being like, "Yeah, they met in Kane's house, but Kane's been on holiday abroad, season finished." So I mean, what are you chatting about?
Just absolute rubbish. They're just trying to pump out the news to make it seem as though that Kane to Bayern's inevitable, essentially.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Jed Spence. This is an interesting one. Ali Gold says that it looks likely that he's going to be going on another loan this season in terms of instead of staying here, because we kind of did count him when we were doing our squad numbers for him as a right back option with maybe Porro pushed up further up the pitch, but that doesn't seem like the case. It looks like maybe Porro and Emerson will be sharing that duty with Jed Spence going out on loan again.
Yeah, if I mean, it's not totally surprising because we've just spent big money on Porro, so he's definitely going to be part of the team.
Big money on Spence.
Well, it was like what 15, 20 million. It wasn't that much.
Well, if you ask Levy, that's big money.
Yeah, I guess. I look if Emerson's sticking around, which definitely looks so, and considering we're going to a back four, that should be more suited to how Emerson wants to play. It doesn't leave him much space for someone like Spence, especially without European football. So maybe Ange is thinking, look, it's better if for his development to go out on loan again and get even more game time. I do feel like it would be good to have him around as an option, but I guess there's not much. I guess there's good balance between Emerson and Porro. If Porro is definitely seen as more of a right back than a right winger, which I assumed he would be, to be honest, still seen more of a right back, then it kind of makes sense that you've got a young player like Spence who needs the game time. He's at a young age. Maybe a Premier League loan would do him good. I just think that probably makes sense for everyone, unless he saw Jed Spence as real competition for Porro. Because obviously Porro's definitely staying, so it's whether Emerson's sticking around. If he is, I don't see a need to keep Spence right now.
I wonder if Nottingham Forest would take him back on a year loan, because obviously he's well thought of over there. They've got Serge Aurier. It'd be nice to see him in a battle with Serge Aurier for that right back spot over at Nottingham Forest. Or would you prefer to go see him somewhere where they do play a back four, maybe similar tactics to what we play?
Yeah, I think a Premier League loan though is exactly what's needed, because he had that Liga loan. It wasn't bad, but I just think
wasn't great either.
Yeah, I mean he played and it probably did some good stuff for his development, but I think the Premier League is really, we need to get him up to scratch with that kind of level, and I think that's really important. Yeah, maybe go back to Forest. That's not a bad shout, but I think you would think some Premier League clubs would be interested in him.
Yeah, you would think so, to be honest, because he was well sought after last summer. Like plenty of clubs were looking at him. But by the way, there's just been an update from Florian Plettenberg on Harry Kane in the last few minutes, and he says that Bayern have now submitted that second offer for Harry Kane, 80 million euros plus add-ons. So taking the piss.
Yeah, that ain't gonna cut the mustard.
It's more than what we were talking about before, though. They were saying like close to 70 million pounds.
Yeah, so that's probably like 70 million pounds plus add-ons essentially. I'm guessing that'll probably take
around 75 million pounds, something like that.
Yeah, and they'll probably take it if plus add-ons, depending how much the add-ons are.
Probably, you would assume probably about 80 to 85.
Yeah, not enough. Not enough. Spurs ain't taking that.
Let's talk about Eric Dier now. Nothing new here, but we'll give it to you anyway. Ali Gold says that Eric Dier has made it clear that he does not want to go. He feels when fully fit, he can make a big impact under Ange Postecoglou. What kind of impact is that? The art of conceding goals.
Just impacting, just being the translator at the back. I don't know.
Is that what he is now? He gets paid quite a lot just to be a translator, to be fair.
Yeah, essentially. Look, there is a part of me that thinks that we'll see a better Dier without the supposed injury that he had last season. But at the end of the day, even a fully fit and informed Dier just isn't going to be suited to how Ange wants to play, in my opinion. For me, I think it's a bit of a recipe for disaster because of his lack of pace. I don't see him being a success. Maybe you could play him in some cup games and again, in a rotational kind of, or against some teams in the bottom half. But once you get to like the high quality teams, which they're growing a lot in the Premier League, because 8 teams out of the 20 in Europe. That just goes to show how the competition's growing. And I just feel like he's going to be someone who's going to be targeted. If you're looking at our back four and you see Dier there, you just know. Especially how we supposedly want to play with the high line, there's just a clear target that to be honest, I feel like teams have been targeting anyway. But that's all of a sudden you're just giving the opposition a game plan, like immediately, and target Eric Dier. So that's frustrating. I understand he's been here a long time and he's a leader in the dressing room and he's kind of like part of the furniture.
Eric Dier, inverted role at right back?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think
That's
that'll
what he
work
came
either.
as, a right back.
No, he came as a centre back, but he played right back because Carl Norton got sent off on his debut. He had to fill
right.
in there, and he filled in a right back for a few games. But then again, after a few games, he got found out in that position as well. I think he's always been a centre back, but I don't know. I just think at this point in his career, I think he needs a move. I don't think Tottenham's the right place for him, but obviously he's going to have. He's a professional footballer. He's going to have confidence in his own ability, and having been here a long time, he's going to feel like he can still, and he's not even 30 yet, or he's just going to turn 30. So he probably feels like he's got a lot to give, but I don't know. He needs to prove it essentially.
He's hanging on for dear life to his Tottenham career. Basically,
Mm.
that's all it is at the moment. And with 1 year left in his contract, I mean, I can kind of understand why he is hanging on, because he does have 1 more year to prove people wrong. But I mean, it's just holding us back at this point, isn't it? Because if he was open to going, then you would potentially think. Do you think they would maybe think more considerately about bringing a Tapsoba and a Van der Ven together?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what it's based on, but yeah, he is taking up a space as a centre back. To be honest, I guess if he's fourth choice, it's not the end of the world. But um, if he's staying to, feel like he's going to be starting potentially, then I do think there's a bit of a problem, and especially if like he's taking one of the senior centre back roles, that is a problem right now for us, and I think we need to move on from him. But he's kind of seems as though, well, look, we haven't heard anything that says Ange definitely wants him out or anything like that, so we don't really know how he's seen by the new coaching staff. But as fans, we've seen enough of him to suggest that he ain't going to cut the mustard in this kind of playing style.
Mm. Next up, we're going to talk about something not really Spurs related, but I thought it was quite interesting. So let's just chat about it anyway. The Standard are reporting that Pochettino is planning talks with Dele Alli in a bid to revive his stalled career. There's a quote here saying, "I want to help him and see what's going on." I mean, how painful would that be? Dele 3.0 under Poch at Chelsea.
That would be quite something. Look, part of me, I mean, I wouldn't be happy if like he's doing well at Chelsea. Part of me would be happy to see Dele firing again, just for his career, because there's so much wasted potential. His career's gone so down the toilet. I can't remember a player at such a young age to have such a sharp decline so early on. It's really quite something, and clearly something's gone seriously wrong. If anyone could maybe get the best out of him again, it probably would be Pochettino, who understands Dele Alli and was a big part of his rise, not just not just giving him his chance, but how he was nurturing him, how he was managing him. So maybe if he can understand what the problems are, he could help fix why he's declined so much. But it would hurt to see them linking up and getting a lot of joy at Chelsea. But I don't know. I don't know if doesn't mean he's necessarily going to sign for Chelsea. Seems as though he just wants to help him as a person.
Yeah, but like, let's say for argument's sake, Pochettino is trying to sign Dele Alli, just hypothetically right now. Like when we beat Chelsea in that game at Stamford Bridge, when Conte was on the other bench, when Dele Alli had that unbelievable performance that day, you're thinking like, who would have thought Pochettino and potentially Dele Alli could be on the other bench at Chelsea? It just blows my mind.
Football's a crazy sport. Things happen over time, and you just like it's mad how things change so quickly. And you take one point in time, and you can never imagine things happening in the future. But that would be mental. You see Pochettino and Dele Alli rocking up at the Tottenham Stadium in Chelsea gear. That would be something a bit surreal, but you never know. Football's a crazy sport.
Yeah. Maybe Poch can take Eric Dier for another rodeo.
Oh yeah, maybe he can have a chat with Eric Dier, see where he's going wrong.
Last but not least, I just want to give a big congratulations to Ollie Skip and the England under-21s for winning the European Championships yesterday against Spain under really crazy circumstances right at the end. I don't know if you saw it, but
Penalty.
England were 1-0 up. Right towards the end, the penalty gets given to Spain, I think, in the 96th minute, and then a mad double save by the keeper. And the keeper is joining Burnley this summer from Manchester City, so that seems like a really good coup for them. But big congratulations to Skippy and the rest of the England under-21 team.
Yeah, and it was look, they've been brilliant the whole tournament. I think they do definitely have probably the best team in the tournament, to be fair. But I think it's the first time they've won the under-21 Euros, I believe, or one of the. I think it's the first time, yeah. Considering the talent they have, which is pretty surprising. But they were brilliant. I was watching bits of the game. And I caught the penalty as well, which was James Trafford, the keeper.
Yeah.
Unbelievable double save right at the end. So unbelievable drama and a bit of Ollie Skip wasting time at the end, drawing fouls as well. I saw, so that was good to see. And look, he's got a trophy. Another player who wins a trophy, not at Tottenham.
Yeah, he's going to go back and show Harry Kane his medals when he gets back to
Exactly,
Hotspur.
under 21 medal.
Mad though, like to think about that. Ollie Skip doesn't get into the team there because like he didn't. I think he started one game throughout the tournament, and he was mainly used as like a sub just to hold out games at the end. But to be fair, they didn't concede a goal. I think the whole tournament.
They've
So,
got a really strong team as well. Really strong.
You see that that little clip of Noni Madueke and Levi Colwell at the end. A lot of people saying that means Colwell's definitely staying. A lot of people thinking that it means he wants to leave. I mean, did you read anything into it?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it. So, so Levi Colwell's doing an Instagram live after the game, right? And he goes up to Noni Madueke and he goes, he just shows him in the camera going, "What do you think of that?" or something like that. And Madueke basically goes into the camera and goes, we're coming back, and I'm making sure this guy is coming with me." And then Levi Colwell just like quickly just turns the camera away and just like runs off. Just, like didn't want anything to do with it.
I guess he doesn't want to. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to lead into any speculation or rumors, so he's just trying to avoid it. But it sounds
Maybe
like
he means they're coming to Spurs.
Huh?
Maybe it means they're coming to Spurs.
No, yeah, of course. I would love him. I'd absolutely love him. Come on, bring him to Tottenham if we can do that deal. I think he probably wants to leave because unless he's getting assurances of guaranteed game time, and maybe Poch can give it to him. But if Poch doesn't,
he should get assurances. The guy's a diamond, man. He's like
brilliant.
England's. He's unbelievable. He really is. And I think if Chelsea were to pass up on the option of him, they're going to regret that in a few years' time, if not this year.
Yeah, but the problem is they've got Fofana, they've got Badiashile. Those are also two very young defenders who they spend a lot of money on. So whether the hierarchy is going to pressure Poch to to give them all the opportunities rather than Colwell. If that's the case, I would be unhappy if I was Colwell. But I don't know. But I don't think Poch would do that though.
Poch 3 at the back? I mean, we saw it ours.
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, what a 3 that would be. Fofana. I think Colwell's better than Badiashile and Fofana anyway.
I agree. But when a club has invested 50 million on Badiashile, then they're always going to want him to if there's a if they're going to want him to be given all the opportunities, aren't they? As a club, you know that as the owner. But
bring him in then. Bring him in. I'll sign him in a heartbeat. But anyway, this ain't a Chelsea update. So what were you going to say?
No, nothing.
All right. So I guess we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. A bit of a slow news day, so not too much to talk about, but we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get the medical and the announcement of Manor Solomon this week as well as the launch of On the Ball. So go and check out our brand new channel. No content is up there yet, but we will be producing content on there this week. So the link will be in the description below. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.